because sometimes we talk and we don't act, or sometimes we think and we don't act on what our thoughts are. You see a problem, and the biggest thing that Peace Runners created was like, we see this problem in our community. How can we change it? And not wait on systems to change, because it take a long time to change a policy or change a system that can like be catered towards this community specifically.
Welcome to the Safe Space Running Podcast, where we're here to encourage, empower, and enable. I always love speaking with this next individual. He's one of my favorite people in this industry, one of my favorite people, period. So inspiring, but I'll get to that later. Jack Hoffman from Peace Runners. Jack, how are you doing?
I am doing good. Life is good. Yes, sir.
We take those. That's a really good thing. I can't complain. I thought I was busy, but I know you stay a pretty busy guy. So let me start things off faxing. I know it's about 1,000,000,001 things, I'm sure. But what you got lined up next on your running and fitness schedule right now? What's next on your docket?
Personally, I have London coming up in 3 weeks. Um, this is a huge one. I think I had one of my best training blocks where I was able to find time for myself. With us being so busy in the industry and like going, I think we lose time for ourselves. So
Mm.
this training block, I was able to like start waking up at like 5 or 6 in the morning to make sure I take care of myself before I started to deep dive into all things community. And I feel strong. I feel good. I feel fast a little bit, and I got the community behind me. So personally, this is a big win for London, New York at the end of the year. And that's gonna be my sixth star. So I really want to bring this home because I know what it means for the community, the coaching, the city of Chicago. So I'm excited to on this journey. You got to respect the distance, no matter how hard you train, no matter what you put in. It's all in the air, and it's all left up to race day. So I'm just physically and mentally preparing myself for what's to come this year. And then as the Peace Runners, it's about to get it's crazy already. You just came off the Shamrock.
Man.
If you didn't see the content for the Shamrock, it was insane. Over 140 people did an AK.
Wow.
Most of these people first time doing the AK, first time seeing the experience of taking our West Side people downtown to a race and really representing in that space was huge. And then we coming into, we got our Out West Run program for 13.1 for the race that runs around our community in Garfield Park.
Mm-hmm.
And we already got over 160 people signed up for a half marathon.
Wow.
It's game time. So in about 8 to 9 weeks, we'll be taking on 13.1 with 170 people doing 13.1. So it's about to go down.
It's
It's a
about,
movie time.
oh, I love it. I love it. And I also saw, for those who are, I'll give a couple plugs here for that, but follow their socials. I believe you guys just got into your own official headquarters building or whatnot too as part of Peace Runners. Did I see that
Yeah.
correctly?
Yeah, man. I'm here now. So you see the big Peace Runners on the wall. It's a dream, man. Like I
Man.
come into the space and just what it means for the community when we talking about reclaiming spaces, especially when you know the background of where Peace Runners is located in Chicago. It's a historically disinvested community since 1968, and for me being a Garfield Park kid, a West Side kid, to come back to put a community hub, a wellness HQ right in the heart of the Garfield Park was big. It's right next to the park where we usually run at. And then it's also being used as a place for all nutrition workshops, mental health workshops, for senior movement, for our youth run club. We had them doing strength. We had them doing yoga here. So just a space where it kind of just changed the temperature. Like when people come, like you can get this narrative about what's going on the west side of Chicago, but when I bring people here, I'm like, pull up to HQ and they come in and they like, oh my gosh, it's beautiful.
Mm.
Like I think that's the biggest thing, the best feeling when people come into that space and automatically feel safe, feel seen, feel loved, and it automatically changes the narrative of what they thought about our community.
I love
Yeah.
that.
That's
I,
it.
that's so crazy. And again, I didn't. I think I formally. I didn't. I don't know if I said it. I hope I said it on the post because life be life. But first and foremost, congratulations on it. That is such a. It's so deserved. And I'd like to even. I didn't even have to prompt you what the topic was because it was all about the theme of this month for the podcast has really been about people who've personally inspired me to get deeper into the running industry, the running space, and different aspects. And we met in Sydney for the first time. My dude Stretch introduced us, and you guys took me and my wife in with open arms into y'all's community there. And I gave you this baby shirt for safe space. So I owe you a new shirt.
Hey, I was like, thanks, bro.
I didn't know. I didn't know. But it was like, because once he connected us, I did some more digging into, what Peace Runners is about. And I say that to say that your inspiration for me really came around the community aspect of it. And I think community can always be so easily thrown around in the sense that, well, we're here for the community. We have outreach programs, we have this. But what you've established with Peace Runners is so much bigger than just we're gathering together. So, my first question to you was why Peace Runners and why make it as important as you have before? Because again, people throw around community all the time. It's such sometimes can be loosely thrown around, in that sense, but you've created something
For
very
sure.
unique and global. Because mind you, we had to check in getting our bibs, and the lady in Sydney, Australia, is like, "Oh my God, I know you. I know Peace Runners."
Blew my mind.
So it was crazy, but I digress, and I ask you, why Peace Runners?
Man, man. I kind of started off with man and gather the words. Um, it was needed, and I didn't even know that like what we created was needed. Um, everybody know if you don't know if the story about my mom about how it started as like I'm legit listening to the doctor talk to my mom about the life expectancy gap within our community, but then also telling her like looking at my mom like a super. I look at my mom like a superhero.
Mm,
Like I think we all look at our parents as like nothing can't hurt them, and we want to have that mindset of being like we never want to see our parents hurt. And for the first time, I had like seen my mom like listen to the doctor tell her that a life expectancy gap was due to cardiovascular diseases, number one killer in our community.
mm,
High blood pressure, pre-diabetic, some of the things, the symptoms that she was already having, and man, that hit home for me. It made me step up to say like, what can I do to help my mom? But then it helped my mom and seeing her transformation, taking her off 13 medications to get to zero, the her losing 60 pounds, her doctor visits getting extended every 2 months, every 6 months,
mm.
made me start to see like what else can I do for my community. Stepping up for my community, man, and like if they don't know about it, if the people in the community didn't know about it, I was like, we gonna bring awareness to it. But we also go show up in action because sometimes we talk and we don't act, or sometimes we think and we don't act on what our thoughts are. You see a problem, and the biggest thing that Peace Runners created was like, we see this problem in our community. How can we change it, and not wait on systems to change? Because it take a long time to change a policy or change a system that can like be catered towards this community specifically. So I was like, man, look, we finna get out and walk. We finna get out and run. We finna talk about nutrition. We finna bring in mental health because these are the things that the community said that they wanted or they needed. Like, man, we want this in the community, and I'm like, man, we can do this. Like we don't gotta wait on that. And we started to like think about the program, start building out. We became a nonprofit. And it was just like, man, the sky's the limit on what we create because the biggest power that we can always have is people power. And I started to like look at history and when you talk about these amazing leaders, the Fred Hamptons, the Martin Luther Kings, I like to throw Fred in there because he was so big in Chicago and what he created. The free breakfast program where he had people come in to get breakfast, but then he was also educating them. Like at that same, I'm like, man, like he made it to where people were able to eat. It helped food insecurity, but then he also made it to where he was going to educate them. And I was like, man, we need to have more things from a community led standpoint, to make sure that our communities have the things that they need. So
Mhm.
Peace Runners came about. The double meaning of what peace means, I know all my people that run know that peace that comes with the sport of run when you put that phone up. And I mean, we coming out right now in a generation where everything is on the phone, so you can look at your calendar, your
Mhm.
socials, everything, your workouts, everything is on the phone. So for me to put the phone up and just like feel the sense of community and be present, that comes with that piece. But then also when you're talking about changing the narrative, when you come into a community where everything you hear about it on the west side of Chicago, they talk about violence, violence, violence,
Mm.
violence, violence, violence. It's the thing of like, how can we create a safe space being mobile? So we like to call ourselves the mobile flowers. Most definitely call ourselves the mobile flowers. As you see when you hear about all the violence in the community, to see a representation of a large group of people that look like you, like our people, black people, 150 deep, running and taking the street and reclaiming spaces and doing it with joy, and then running down the street and saying good morning, how y'all
Mm.
doing, and really like connecting with our community is truly, truly beautiful. And it has it has created like this ripple effect to the whole community where like the love that we get from the community is like, man, I don't even go to the lakefront no more.
Mm.
And everybody comes to the Chicago, they like, man, I run the lakefront. The lakefront is so beautiful. I'm like, nah, man, I feel better. I feel good in my neighborhood. And our neighbors are running. I remember points where I'd never seen. It used to be me running just by myself in the
Mm.
neighborhood. And then, my wife, of course, she'll be running. But then now it's like the whole community. I'm seeing my neighbors. And like that's such a powerful feeling when you can actually see your people and they running and they taking space too. And it's powerful. It's a real big, powerful movement in Chicago. So it's beautiful to see. And it's crazy to think that I'm like a part of all of this that has transpired throughout these years. So it's crazy.
No, it's been beautiful to witness. And again, I came in a little late to the game apparently because you guys have been doing this for quite some time. But as I hinted at earlier, a lot of people really, I think that you said it best as just putting action behind the words. And I see so many community driven aspects that don't always produce the same kind of success, or let alone, I guess your measure of success would be a better way to put it, was a different metric than what I often see in different communities. Sometimes they just go out and do different outreach programs. And again, everything's to each their own. But what I've noticed with Peace Runners is that
Yeah.
you guys have gone through with an intention to change health for the entire community. And it goes to my next question for you is
Yeah.
that you've been very adamant in advocating for the west side of Chicago. And you've talked about this again. I was able to watch your TRE presentation about, the importance of what you're doing and how that impact is, but you didn't move things from the west side. You brought things to the west side. And the last time for Chicago Marathon, I think I'm trying to remember the partner that was out there. I'm drawing the biggest blank right now. Lord forgive me. Was it Noon? Is it Noon? Sounds about right. But
Noon.
yes,
Yeah, they
I
came out.
thank God I had the right one.
Yeah.
But you made them come out there. But then it's always
Yeah.
been about the brands recognizing where you are and what your impact is and where you want them to be present at. So my next question to you is, why was that important to not compromise on the west side of Chicago and to make the brands recognize your mission and to not and to align with what your goal was for that? Because sometimes they make us go places. You've seen it in the running community. Oh, we're going to do this big run, but come to this part of town, or we're going to do this one
Yeah.
here. It has to be at this location. You've never compromised in that from what I've seen, and it was so cool to see that. So why was that so important to have the running industry meet you at the west side?
My people, Chantel Franklin,
Mm.
Tiffany Hoffman, Major Clay, my mom. Um, I cannot and I will not like waver to going to do the thing that they already been doing for
Mm.
years. And the magic and the work that we put in and the way that our community shows up for us, because they show up because they know what we represent. So I felt like it was this one point where Chantel was like, "Hey, we can't go downtown. We got to go. We got to bring that to the west side." And everything we did from that day, it was like 5 years ago, was heavy on how can we bring resources back to the west side.
Mm.
Because even when you're talking about economically, what that means, right? Noon would have spent money downtown and would able to brought people to the downtown, but we brought people to the west side. So then when people was like, "Well, we want to eat at," hey, go to this restaurant over here, go to this restaurant over here, come chill over here, and then that brought money back from around the world back to the west side.
Mm.
And then even when we partnered with Hoka, we did like this one Chicago dinner, and they were like, where we want to do this activation at?" I say, "No, we doing it on the west side." And I gave them a nonprofit space, a community wellness, a community space called All Space, and partnered with a with a violence prevention group, a youth group, and brought them in, and then had them like rent the building from them, that which funded like those organizations. And then we had it on the west side because we go pull them outside the loop, pull them outside those spaces. And um, once people get to see like our community, our people, the beauty in what we do and how we show up, I think that's the real like uniqueness about everything. So man, I can't go sit with my people and then talk about like what we building on the west side and not want people to not want to be on the west side. I got to bring everybody to the west side.
No.
Appreciate you for coming to the west
Oh.
side too. That's big. And it's like all these marathon shakeout runs, bro. Like I'm like, it's big brands. Like it's so many brands activated throughout the city and Chicago Marathon. And I'm like, man, I'm leaning on community. And when I tell you the community showed up, you was a part of it. Like to
Mm.
see that shakeout run with almost like 300 people. When I talk about the Keep It 100, we run 313, Easter Run Club, y'all pulled up deep. Like man, there's so many names. James were prolific.
Mm-hmm.
St. Louis Run Crew, like everybody aside from the things that's going on around Chicago at that heightened moment, still came and pulled up, and that was like so powerful. Community, that's community, bro.
We wasn't gonna miss it. I put my thing I say here all the time was we show up for ours, but that's just how it is. It was. And I
Yeah,
kid you not. When we were talking about it here back home, they was like, "Oh, what shakeouts we going to?" I'm like, I don't care where y'all going. I'm going to the Peace Runner Shakeout. There is no other place. Because I had a couple people like, "Yeah, you come out to this one down here." I'm
let's
like,
go.
nah, I'm going to show up for my people because they are doing something crazy good out there. And I love that. And this is, you actually came
Yeah,
down and spoke with us for our Move Together community event, which you said something that was really poignant to that. And you said, find your Garfield Park as one of your things that you've talked about a couple different times. You said, I believe TRE and at our event here in Columbus, Ohio,
hmm,
and it just spoke to the importance of how much I never would have thought that something like a running club or a fitness organization could make as much impact as you guys have made. And seeing that you guys you found your demographic, you found your community, but you went 10 toes deep. Like you was all in to like this is where all of that goes and it shows. I love the fact that we was able to go through an area as
yeah,
you talked about before, just how that how the mindset changed in that community to where at first they don't see people running. Now you have the community running. Now you have people going out and knowing more about the fitness aspect and the running aspect. And access is always such an important thing that you've been able to take back to your community. I look at our communities here sometimes and they always ask me, what you running from? Why are you running? But then if we try to get them in, sometimes there's sections of our city that has no running whatsoever. It's like it's foreign because nothing comes out there. But
yeah.
one thing that's been so that I've taken, honestly, I've taken so many pages out of your book at this point, which if you haven't wrote a book yet, you need to go ahead and get one in. I don't know if you do. I hope you do. If not, you need to start pinning that out. But
Okay,
I say
okay.
that to say mostly, I say this because I truly, and I say it for my people who I have on here all the time, is just you always acknowledge those and tell people that has impacted you. You let them know and you say thank you. So I have to personally thank you for setting the stage and setting the platform for us as black men to be out in this running space, because you and I both know there ain't that many of us out there. You
Yeah,
said it in
for
Sydney. We was out there black in Sydney. I love that quote.
real.
But it's like there's not many of us out there, but you put in so much heart and effort into your community, and the world has watched it. And I have personally been truly inspired by what you've done and what you've accomplished, to where I'm taking notes back to the different community programs that I do here and keeping that mindset with me of, okay, I literally ask myself sometimes, how would Jack do this? How does the Peace Runners would work about this? Like,
Yeah,
where
for
am I targeting the same thing to speak? It's that precedent that you set that has been truly inspiring. So I have to, I'm gonna always hype you up, but I genuinely mean this.
real.
I say that you are truly a role model in this space for me, and I can't thank you enough for your sacrifice and your time that you spent for your community and sharing your knowledge with the rest of us. So thank you so much for what you do, really.
Man, thank you, man. That's you over here trying to make me drop a little tear out here, man.
No, I'm trying not to. I'm trying my best not to, but
Nah, it's real, man. It's we got to do it, man. We got to do it. Um, each move that any of us make in this space just open up the door, and we just hold it open for the next person. So, we got to do it, bro.
totally agree with that. So I have one last question for you. And I will actually, I tend to ask this around, I'm gonna mix it up for you. Normally I ask, what is your suggestion for, those who are first airing into running and walking? But in theme of this conversation, I've talked with a couple people here who wants to become more involved in community and impact. So my question to you would be, what is one piece of advice that you would give to someone who's trying to enter into the community space in impacting and creating change in their respective area?
That's a good one. I think I always go into this one um, thing of that when you brought that up, I immediately thought about feeling like I'm worthy, or feeling like I'm able to create the change that I wanted to. Because sometimes when we come into spaces, and like, naturally, like when you go into a space and you don't see everybody that look like you, or if you're fighting a cause, or if you're trying to make change, you gonna have to be you gonna have to know in your heart, in your body, in your soul that you can create this change, or you have to have a confidence that makes everybody else believe in what you believe in. And I remember the days when Peace Runners had 4 people. I remember the days when I was like reaching out to people and talking about, hey, come walk with us. We needed a movement. We need to be moving. And at first, like 6 years ago, it was like, what? Like come do this workout, of me getting the seniors involved, or our young people, like looking at how they looked at the sport of run. It was foreign at that point, but the confidence and the belief that like I really was like, hey, like we really can create some change in our community. And I didn't stop because I knew, and I truly believed in it. And I had people that gave me the right to proceed. When you got people around you that support and just keep pointing to your mission and tell you that it's possible. I gotta say, Major, one of my first brothers that told me like, whatever you doing, I'm rocking with you. My wife, my mom, and as the more people came, it was like watering the plant. It was like, okay, you could grow this big, and now it's more confidence, and we can do this, and then it's more confidence when we can do this. And I remember when we signed our first grant we ever got, I was like, man, this really matters to the city. And then now to see the stage that we are now, the conversations that I'm having with city officials and
Mm-hmm.
um, the people, the health, the industry, the hospitals, they all trying to figure out like we trying to get people moving, and you got all of these people moving, and now our worlds
Mm-hmm.
are colliding, and now it's even more of like, man, we on to something to build. and I was even creating people jobs. So now I'm going through this big thing where I'm like creating jobs now. And when we talk about creating jobs in
Mm,
your community with the space, with the young people, I'm like, it's just beautiful to see. But it could not start if I didn't have people that supported me, if and if I didn't believe or had that belief that I'm able to do everything, that I know I'm able to do that. And sometimes we battle with that, or we battle with, can I do this? I don't deserve this. I'm so grateful to be in this space
mm,
right now, but man, grateful is a thing. But like when you put that work in, and you truly believe in everything that you're doing, and truly believe in the impact that you can create in your community, like that's when, man, that's man, that's a good feeling, man, a great feeling to be able to accomplish it.
I,
So for anybody else that's trying to do this work, do community, and really do community, like believe it, do it with everything in you, every passion, every sweat, blood, do it with all to make sure that you can push home for
mm.
your people, because that's what it's about.
I that's probably
Yeah.
that answer spoke too real because that's I was just talking with someone else about that too. Of just that sense of belonging. Sometimes I personally have struggled with, but then when you said that, it's like it's that you got to walk in with that confidence that change can happen, and that's real. That is real.
Man,
I'm again. I'm gonna
man.
take another one. Put that in my book of Jack's notes to hopefully again. I hope a book is coming out soon because you stay laying down
You gotta
gems.
come
But
through. We gotta do it.
I know, right? It's gonna happen. But we gonna speak it out. I'm telling you, I'm expecting a book at some point. But I again,
Let's go.
I truly can't thank you enough for everything that you've done and truly being a good one of the perfect examples for us who are starting community work to look up to and to follow. So for those again who are listening, please go if you're ever in the Chicago area. Go link up with Peace Runners. Like I have a good time, and they when I he hinted at it, but I don't think you understand the mobile flower perspective. I I have this really ugly picture. I swear, when I saw y'all at the Chicago Marathon, and my whole face is just it's just like it's beat up, but it's like there's there's nothing like Black Joy, but then there's nothing like Peace Runners
Yes,
Black Joy.
sir.
And when y'all show up, it's just whether it be at the regular community runs or at the races that y'all pull up to, you've created, along with your team, something truly special. So again, those listening, go check
Yes,
out Peace
sir.
Runners. Go support them. They have their impact is truly a global thing. It should be studied on the right way to do it. So again, third time, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I didn't expect the book, but Jack,
Thank
I
you.
appreciate you. I
Throw that book
promise.
out there, man. Let's go.
I know, right? I appreciate you. I promise I have another T-shirt order coming in, so you will actually get the right size this time.
I gotta
But
have my safe space, right? I gotta
I
have it
gotta,
on, bro.
I gotta get you a right one this time. But thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you.
Thanks again, brother. I appreciate you for bringing me on. Always, anytime you need me, you already know I'm one text away. Even if I gotta pull up to Columbus, I'm a little bit of a drive away. But nah, bro, we locked in. So
You,
keep doing amazing work, bro. I love watching you do your thing because you are really pushing home and amplifying a lot of messages. And man, keep doing it. Let's get it.
I'm trying.